You're now listening to Loggers Tech Talks from Swamp Fox Insurance Agency.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Tank Bryant, and I am with Swamp Fox Agency. I am here with Jacob Gayle of XACTT. How we doing this morning, Jacob?
You're very well, man. Thank you for having me here.
All right, you having a good time at the summit so far?
Having a great time, as always.
Okay. All right, so welcome to the Summit Podcast. Summit is a loggers technology conference sponsored by Swamp Fox Agency. Swamp Fox specializes in insuring loggers and their fleets throughout the Southeast United States. So, Jacob, I'll let you take it a little bit, man. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your current position at XACTT?
Yep. So, like I said, my background, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. Went to Auburn University, got my degree there, and then came in and worked in the pits industry, making pits trailers, logging trailers for a little over 8 years. So I went from getting a science background to jumping straight into forestry and to logging. And so got to spend a lot of time getting to know loggers, getting to understand how the culture works, just seeing the problems and things like that. And so that's kind of what got me into this direction. And then we came, like I said, into XACTT and decided to jump into that venture from there.
Okay. And honestly, talking to a lot of the guys last night and, talking to the guys on the podcast earlier today, I can see that this is, you said you were at pits and then you went to this, but you've been in the logging, forestry industry, and coming from Auburn. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Auburn's kind of, I think of Auburn comparable to Clemson, where it's kind of an agricultural college.
They have a very great agriculture. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that makes sense. So we'll jump right into it, man. How did XACTT start in the industry?
So I was telling Brick and everybody earlier, I can't help but say I was a little inspired by Swamp Fox, to be honest with you. I came last year and did some of the presentations, and the focus on the safety for these drivers and how much attention is on these drivers nowadays really got my attention. So what we do with XACTT is we really want to start bringing products to the market that help Rick with Swamp Fox's side so that your customers are safer, but we can also offer fleet owners stuff where they know their drivers are safe when they're out. So the idea, just to make it long story short, is we want to make sure fleet owners can have full control of all the drivers when they're out there. They can know when they're safe. They know what's going on, monitor tire pressure, that kind of thing. So
Okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your products?
Yeah. So we have two main products. We have a WDS auto tensioner, which is it holds a 4-inch strap, standard strap, and that'll keep the automatic tension of whatever you set it to when you're going from the mill to the location. So That's real big on DOT. It helps you not get pulled over, but it also just helps not shift cargo in a perfect world. So, and then we also have our Bigfoot CTI system, which connects to the compressor on the truck, and that helps you control from the driver's dash. You can control your pressures when you're on and off the highway and loaded, unloaded.
Okay. So, all right. So these, the straps that you're talking about that keeps the load from shifting. Now, like I said, I'm new to the logging industry, new to the forestry industry. So can you explain a little bit? I mean, I'm picturing like if a truck rolls over, will that keep the load in place?
That's a great question. That's a little bit of a loaded question. It depends on the scenario and all that stuff. In a perfect world, we'd love to say that it would keep it still. But again, the biggest breaking point there would be the strap. So if the strap can hold up and nothing interferes with the strap, we'd love to say in a perfect world, yes, but you can't definitively put a yes or no on it. So like I said, most circumstances, as long as nothing cuts that strap or interferes with it, we'd love to say that it's going to stay in place. It's okay. Just can't definitively put a yes or no.
I understand. Now, and I don't want you to give away the family secrets, but is there a difference between, I've seen straps, is there can you tell us a little bit about what differentiates you guys from, say, your competitors, if there are any? I don't know.
So we actually, one of the biggest things with our competitor, ours is the only one that'll house a 4-inch strap. So you could put anywhere from a chain to they have some of the ropes now that are just as strong as steel, but you can put whatever you want. We're the only ones that'll actually fit a 4-inch strap into our system. So it'll match what everybody's already using on their trucks.
Okay. Okay. All right. And as far as you mentioned the tire system also, how does the tire system work?
So what it does, it hooks up to the compressor on the truck. And what we do is we run that to the drive axles on the truck, and then we'll go down to the trailer as well. And so what that does is it just allows the driver to control their PSI inside their tires, depending on what speed they are and if they're on the highway or off the highway and loaded or unloaded. So again, it gives the driver control. It helps with tire savings because they're not wearing the tires out from using the same pressure loaded and unloaded. But then once you get in the woods, the big thing is traction. It helps you really with not getting stuck. It's one of those emergency type things where if you got to, we can drop it down low enough to where we'll get as much traction with that tire just so we can pump it back up once you get on the highway.
Okay. So how does that work? Like, I'm thinking driver in a truck, he's, monitoring, and he'll know to monitor the tire pressure. I mean, how user friendly is that for a driver? Brand new driver jumps in a truck. Like, is he going to need a PhD to figure this thing out, or what's that looking like?
And that's another great question. Thankfully, everything here, we want it to be as user friendly as possible. So not only do we have, it's a very easy setup, but there are audible alerts that'll give you as well. And so the display is essentially, if anybody's got scales, it'll be right below their scale system, and it's got buttons, so you can pretty much feel where you're going, so you don't have to look away or anything like that. So very user friendly. It's very just a push of a button, and you go from on highway loaded, on highway unloaded.
Okay.
And you just drop down to wherever you want to and jump back up. So
okay,
very user friendly, very easy to work with, and not too complicated.
That makes sense. So in the industry, in the transportation industry right now, everything, has been about, and I've asked every person I've talked to so far, it's been about cost. Cost versus the savings versus the safety versus the, is this going to be cost effective for me to get? What, just ask you, how much does something like this cost? If I wanted to get, your strap system versus your tire pressure system, how much would something like that cost to outfit my truck?
So we offer 3 different options. You can either fit just the truck axles, you can do the truck and trailer, or then we can also do something called a multi-zone, which is 2 different brains. And so that's really going to be your price differences. So you'll see anywhere from a single zone will be around 10,000, and then up to just under 20,000 for a dual zone or for a multi-zone. So just depending on the package that you want to go with and what just how in depth you want to get with the installation. So
okay. And is there, do you have an idea, or could you give us kind of an idea of what a company would be saving by getting your product, by getting the because the straps sound pretty, that sounds pretty straightforward. Now with the tire pressure system, like, that sounds like it can save you some money over the course of time by using this, because obviously you're going to save on fuel if you have the right tire pressure. You're going to save time. Do you guys have like a way of breaking that down into, if you want to tell a driver what he would be looking at cost savings wise?
Yep. So that was actually what got us also very excited about this product, is that we have seen up to a 6.5% fuel savings just from the system. It's up to a 30% savings on tires. And then we have, again, a lot of what we're also seeing is a big impact on the land. So depends on how often you're having to go in and out of the same place, but we're also seeing a tremendous impact on how much it's helping landowners. So from a fleet owner standpoint, again, you're going to see fuel savings, you're going to see tire savings, but then you are also going to see fatigue reducement on the driver. So we try to bring it all around, and that's, like I said, that's what got us very excited with this product, is you will see savings very quickly. And again, the driver should tell a pretty big difference too once they get in the truck. So
okay. Now, Forestry Insurance Company of the Southeast works exclusively in the Southeast United States in the forestry lane. Last question. Sell it to me. So you're going to tell me about the features and telling me why someone would use your product versus your competitors. What would you tell me?
Number one is going to be customer service. You're not going to be able to beat us on customer service. We're going to be there. If you're out in the middle of the woods, it doesn't matter where you are, we're going to be there if something does happen, and we're going to make sure you're taken care of. But then also the product itself, it's going to take care of. We just pulled a union off of one of the tires that had over 1 million miles on it. So it's a little bit like ripping a Band-Aid off. It's not the most fun to write the check at first, but you see the savings within about 6 months. So it is one of those, like I said, the product speaks for itself, and then our customer service behind it is going to be, nobody will be able to compare to it. So like I said, it's just one where we've already known that we can just stay in front of the customer, keep them happy. Nobody's going to be able to touch us there. And then, like I said, we just know the product's already superior.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, Jacob Gayle, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming out and speaking with me this afternoon on the podcast. Appreciate you going up and have you given your speech at the site?
I just got done.
So you did? Okay, so you already got that. The butterflies are over as far as that's concerned, huh?
I was a little more nervous about this, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I appreciate you coming out and giving me a little time to and let the listeners hear what you had to say about you guys' company, and excited to see where you guys go in the future. And once again, thank you for
Great to be a part of it, man. Hey, I can't thank you enough.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to hit that follow button on YouTube for more great content from Swamp Fox Insurance Agency.